family was in the back seat of a big Citroen, the two agents in the front, speeding towards a very private hotel, high in the Vercors. The Jackal spent the weekend at the seaside. He bought a pair of swimming trunks and spent the Saturday sunning himself on the beach at Zeebrugge, bathed several times in the North Sea, and wandered round the little harbour town and along the mole where British soldiers and sailors had once fought and died in a welter of blood and bullets. Some of the walrus-moustached old men who sat along the mole and threw for sea bass might have remembered 46 years before, had he asked them, but he did not. The English present that day were a few families scattered along the beach, enjoying the sunshine and watching their children play in the surf. On Sunday morning, he packed his bags and drove leisurely through the Flemish countryside, strolling through the narrow streets of Ghent and Bruges. He lunched off the unmatchable steaks, broiled over a timber fire served by the Siphon restaurant at Down, and in the mid-afternoon turned the car back towards Brussels. Before turning in for the night, he asked for an early call with breakfast in bed and a packed lunch, explaining that he wished to drive into the Ardennes the following day and visit the grave of his elder brother who had died in the Battle of the Bulge between Bastogne and Melville. The desk clerk was most solicitous, promising that he would be called without fail for his pilgrimage. In Rome, Victor Kowalski spent a much less relaxed weekend. He turned up regularly on time for his periods of guard duty, either as the desk man on the landing on the 8th floor or on the roof by night. He slept little in his periods off duty, mostly lying on his bed off the main passage of the 8th floor, smoking and drinking the rough red wine that was imported by the gallon flagon for the 8 ex-legionnaires who made up the guard. The crude Italian Rosso could not compare for bite with the Algerian Pinot that sloshes inside every legionnaire's pannikin, he thought, but it was better than nothing. It habitually took Kowalski a long time to make up his mind on anything independently, but by Monday morning he had come to his decision. He would not be gone long, perhaps just a day or maybe 2 days, if the planes did not connect properly. In any event, it was something that had to be done. He would explain to the patron afterwards. He was sure the patron would understand, even though he would be damned angry. It occurred to him to tell the colonel of the problem and ask for 48 hours leave, but he felt sure that the colonel, although a good commanding officer, who also stuck by his men when they got into trouble, would forbid him to go. He would not understand about Sylvie. Kowalski knew he could never explain. He could never explain anything in words. He sighed
201 Rice,
as he got
201 Rice.
He was deeply troubled by the thought that for the first time in his life as a legionnaire, he was going to go AWOL. The Jackal rose at the same time and made his meticulous preparations. He showered and shaved first, then ate the excellent breakfast placed on the tray by his bedside. Taking the case containing the rifle from the locked wardrobe, he carefully wrapped each component in several layers of foam rubber, securing the bundles with twine. These he stuffed into the bottom of his rucksack. On top went the paint tins and brushes, the denim trousers and check shirt, the socks and the boots. The string shopping bag went into one of the outer pockets of the rucksack, the box of bullets into the other. He dressed himself in one of his habitual striped shirts, dove grey lightweight suit as opposed to his usual check worsted 10-ounce, and a pair of light black leather loafers from Gucci. A black silk knitted tie completed the ensemble. He went down to his car, parked in the hotel lot, and locked his rucksack in the trunk. Returning to the foyer, he took delivery of his packed lunch, nodded a reply to the desk clerk's wishes for a bon voyage, and by 9 was speeding out of Brussels along the old E40 highway towards Namur. The flat countryside was already basking in warm sunshine that gave a hint of a scorching day to come. His road map told him it was 94 miles to Bastogne, and he added a few more to find a quiet place in the hills and forests to the south of the little town. He estimated he would do the 100 miles by noon easily.
I like this.
In Gun,
I like the 201 Rice.
To another long, flat strait across the Walloon plain. Before the sun had reached its zenith, he was through Namur and Marche, following the signposts that indicated Bastogne was approaching. Passing through the little town that had been torn to pieces by the guns of Hassel van Manteufel's King Tiger tanks in the winter of